This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Marc Ebinger. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk Business podcast. We have Jordon Williams in studio with us again today. Jordon is the owner of Triton Cleaning Service. Jordon, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute.
Thanks, Mark.
You last time you were on was at the radio studio, right?
Yeah.
And you were on twice. Did you come on twice?
Yes, I was on twice over there. Yeah. I can't remember the episode number.
No.
It was pretty early on.
It's double digits, probably. We've
Nice.
been in triple digits for a bit now. So anyway, good to have you back, man. All right, I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Krukus Virtual Staffing, a company that saves business owners thousands of dollars a month by hiring skilled English-speaking virtual assistants from the Philippines and Latin America.
And I'm your co-host, Jenevy Sims with the Evolve Firm, where we help entrepreneurs create branding strategies for their busises.
And I'm glad you said you're Jenevy because I was looking at the notes and it says I'm Heather, and I was like,
I mean, I could be today. I'm
notice
stepping in.
I had to call Jenevy this morning and say, hey, Heather had to cancel because she's got a sick kiddo. Can you help out? And so she responded back, but it had already been printed.
Great. And I am not Kirby Caden. I'm Howie Nestel, the owner of Sharkmatic Advertising, a cool ad agency serious about big results. So 30 years in the advertising industry. I was a latecomer to this whole web design thing because I was a marketing purist and I was not going to get into this fad called the World Wide Web. And here we are now. My team and I have created 1,100 websites and we've managed 1,500 clients over the past 3 decades.
All right, a quick reminder to follow the Let's Talk Business podcast on all the major podcast platforms and on our website at satalkradio.com. We produce a lot of social media content every week, so please check out our social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, all of them, and give us some love out there and share it with your friends.
And on satalkradio.com, go and watch the interview I did on the red carpet with our main host, Marc Ebinger.
Oh yeah,
funny.
that's posted there on the main
Yeah.
web.
a good
That was
one.
fun. So now that's like a promo video. They can't actually hear the interview, but it's like a promo thing that Indigo Film did for us, and they did a fantastic job capturing all that. Did you make it to the Let's Talk Business podcast?
I did not.
You didn't?
I did
You missed a
not.
good one. We had 2 red carpets on that one. I think that really worked out well. The photographer for that event that was taking shots at the red carpet, phenomenal pictures. Best I've seen
The
so
quality. It was
Yeah.
a great quality.
far. Great quality. So,
Do you remember who it was? Was it
no.
Vanessa?
No, it was Ruben. I think
it
his
was
name was Ruben or something like that. I tried to reach out to him afterwards, but I don't know if I have his right number or not. But I need to have Samantha reach out to him again because he did a phenomenal job. I mean, that's the guy that I would like to use, at the next Let's Talk Business podcast.
We've had some good photographers,
yeah.
videographers participate in our Let's Talk Business podcast mixers, and we'll give you the date of the next one. Although there's one in between there that's not a Let's Talk Business branded
No,
one.
yeah. So thanks for bringing that up, Howie. So coming up on August 1st, we're having a B&I Mega Mixer. Now, there's a little story behind this because we've been trying to get a cross-chapter Mega Mixer going on for B&I because there's 17 chapters here in the San Antonio
Can you
area.
explain what BNI is for those people who don't know what it
Sure,
is?
it's Business Networking International. So they are it's a group of, it's a corporation that has small chapters, and they're all over in cities across the United States and all over the world. So we can literally have people in India or Taiwan, Japan. I mean, they're everywhere. And so you can really network across the entire world, which is really kind of cool. But specifically to San Antonio, there's 17 chapters. So a chapter may have, they're all industry specific, right? So you'd have maybe one financial planner, one web designer, right? One virtual staffing company. But that's for one chapter. Another chapter can have the same, right? So what we want to do is be able to bring all of those chapters together so that people can start building relationships with each other. Now, you can do cross-chapter visits, but I don't know. I think we're a little rusty with that here in San Antonio. I've been pushing the envelope on that because I visit a lot of chapters and I network a lot, and I see the value of it. It's tremendous. So my goal here is to bring everybody together, and for 150 people, same room where we can network and have.
And do you
some
have to
fun.
be a BNI member to attend it?
No, you don't have to be, that's really good because non-BNI members can come in and see what's different really about the way that BNI does their networking because it is more of a professional. They're actually ready to network. They understand there's certain components, certain flows of actually networking effectively. and they have a better grasp on it. And so, when you're actively looking for ways to refer, like if somebody talks about web design, or I can look at their website and I can see that it needs some issues, I'd be like, well, have you met Howie yet? I know you're not in B&I, but I would still refer you out. But that's just what you think differently. You're looking for opportunities. Jenevy, you've been in B&I before,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
When I first started my business, yes. And it definitely was something that I was able to leverage in the networking space.
Yeah. So, and when you really have, especially in a business where you can do like brand design and web design, and you have the whole nation or the whole world that you can really market to, there's tremendous opportunity. It doesn't stop. Jordon, your business is more local, right? Are you in Austin yet by chance?
Nope, not yet. Not yet.
But you're moving in
Soon
that
to
direction,
be.
right?
Yeah, moving that direction.
Well, this would be beneficial for you to attend anyway. For $15, you get to go to Margaritaville, which is where we'll have 4
I like
margarita
that.
machines.
Always
I
has
like
to have
that.
a
And,
margarita
gotta have a
machine.
sign made up.
$15 to be in front of 150 local entrepreneurs, business people, decision makers. Have a few margaritas, and man, have a great time.
Yeah.
And I have a
good.
track record of putting on events, mega mixers. So, I mean, I got my sponsors like immediately for the event, and then we got the space connected, co-working.
Oh yeah,
There's a
Emad
space.
was feeling left out. That Simply Bookkeeping
Yeah.
couldn't be, maybe wasn't going to be able to be a sponsor.
No, he is. Yeah,
he made
because
it in.
he's actually a chapter member in Houston.
Oh, wow.
Great.
So go figure that one out. Anyway, so August 1st, it's a Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. over at Connected Co-working. It's off of I-10, right next to Sea Island. Just come on out. Get your tickets early because we only have 150. So they're going to sell out, of course. You want to get them and then, show up early and go to Margaritaville. I like that.
Margaritaville. You like that? Let me register the domain name real quick. Make sure I'll sell it to you for $7,000
Get on top of it.
That
huh?
sounds
Come
kind
on.
of high, man.
or 46,000 iTechs.
Oh, not that again. All right. So, Jordon, excited to have you back in studio. So it's been a minute. Give us an update. Obviously, Triton Cleaning, you guys do lots of different services, but give us an idea of what services you're offering, and then tell us about your growth over the last couple of years.
Great. So our primary service is the residential trash can cleaning. It's a subscription-based service. If you don't want a subscription, we do offer one-times as well. We've grown that to now 4,000 customers throughout San Antonio, New Braunfels, Seguin, Lavernia, and Bernie.
Which, by the way, I am a customer. Have been for quite a while now.
You are?
We're
Yep.
very spoiled.
Howie is
I'm a
as well.
customer. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Not Jenevy, not yet, though, right?
Not yet. He's gonna.
She cleans her
soon.
own trash cans.
I have my kids do that.
That's
That's
smart.
what you have kids for.
Yeah, that's right.
Brooke ain't doing that.
well, when they get tired of it, you let me know. We make
Absolutely.
it super easy. Yes, we've grown quite a bit. Last time we were on, I had just had one truck when we were first on the podcast. We're up to 4 now, 4 trash can cleaning trucks, and 1 just for pressure washing. So quite a bit of growth. A lot of that comes from acquiring other competitors in the San Antonio market, as well as New Braunfels, and really just giving customers an easy solution to a issue nobody wants to deal with, right?
And the power washing is also Power Washing Plus because you have window screen cleaners and also full house cleaners. And I know you do roofs and those kinds of things.
Yeah, everything. So obviously I wanted to tap into, instead of casting a wider net for customer base, just dig deeper down into that same customer base. They're already comfortable with our business. They're already comfortable with us. They already trust us at their house. So might as well offer additional services to that same customer. So we took that, sent my guys off for training, and we offer a full line of exterior cleaning. So roof washing, window cleaning, soft washing, driveways, anything on your exterior we clean.
Are you going to get into anything else, like painting or anything like that?
I think we're good with what we're at right now.
Yeah.
But eventually, the sky's the limit, especially after I've seen how easy it is to market to the same customer you're already offering the service to. So there's no telling where it could go to, right? Pest control, handyman services, whatever it may be.
Triton
Yeah.
Pest Control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Howie had talked about
Yeah,
that
we
early
did
on.
talk about it. I just didn't want to let in on that. But now you got it
It's
out
out
of
there
us.
now.
You got it out of us.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, Jordon, you're a good businessman. I mean, because you're doing acquisitions, right? You're growing fast. You've got a business model that's working. You're doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on it. Is there any part of San Antonio that you're not in when it comes to the trash can cleaning?
We are everywhere in San Antonio, from the Dominion to trailer parks on the south side. Right. So, and that's a really interesting thing too about our customer base is there's no set demographic that that is a customer. It's all over the place. It's just a simple solution for a problem nobody wants to deal with, right? If nobody wants to deal with a stinky trash can, so
and now
if you
get any kind of liquids at the bottom of your trash can, now all these mosquitoes are using it to kind of spawn more baby mosquitoes. So it's kind of a crazy thing, and it's one of those things you didn't know you needed it, and then you also didn't know there was somebody that could take care of that for you. I also saw that now you guys are attaching something to some trash cans, and then every time you close it, it sprays a little deodorizer.
Yeah, so we partnered with Bingard, and they manufacture a little attachment that every time you close the lid, it sprays a scented deodorizer in there.
That is pretty cool. I love that.
Yeah,
Wow.
just a little add-on, right?
Yeah.
Because trash cans will make your entire garage stink.
Very true.
Yeah, so I have a man crush on this guy, not because of his looks and his,
It's that mustache
No,
and
it's not.
beard.
It's not that. But we talk about entrepreneurs that sort of like genetically, grew up around it, or it's in their blood. This guy, I mean, you're ex-military. I think you had limited or no entrepreneurial experience at the beginning of the pandemic, right?
Right.
And you decided to get into this, and so he developed this serial entrepreneur level of professionalism just in the last 4 years. And he's thriving. And so that's very possible for those of you entrepreneurs that are listening to this show, that you could, with some of the secrets you'll hear today, that you can also do it. Because, and I want to dig in a little bit later about your military background, and if that has something to play that plays into your success. Because I know Mark wants to know: did all this stuff fall in your lap? Did you go out and hunt it down? Is it a combination of that? So yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of what you have accomplished, and we met back at the beginning of his career.
I think I met him before you, though, right?
Yeah, you probably did. You must have known him before he had his truck, then.
Oh, you knew him before he had his truck?
No, I knew him when he got his truck, and he had started all his marketing on his own.
All right, but let's start with what your personality type. Are you like just really assertive? I won't say aggressive, right? But I was going to say assertive. I mean, how do you approach things as an entrepreneur, as a person?
Well, very technical. I like to think things through before I do them, and put a lot of thought and planning into it. And then very competitive, right? I want to win no matter what. So that's one of the things that's helped me acquire these customers is really looking at other competitors, if you will, and seeing what they're doing, how they're doing it wrong, what's working in my business, and how I can transition that into their customers. Because all the competitors that I've purchased operate their business completely different, whether it be billing or their scheduling, how they're doing it. And what seems to be working for me is the way we do things, right? So obviously, if I can acquire 400 to 1,000 customers just buying out a competitor that's struggling to service these customers, it's an easy win for us.
So how do you find them? How do you find a competitor, and then how do you figure out they're struggling?
Well, I think everybody knows who their competitors, right? Who their competitors are, right? I'm sure.
If not, they should know.
They should know.
know.
And you should
They're
know how your
starting.
competitors operating their business, right? Not only so you can operate your business better, but so you can find new things and learn how to operate your business better, attract different customers that may not be attracted to that competitor for a reason. So I spend a lot of time on Google searching, and Facebook and all other social media platforms.
It's the
find out
greatest
who's
spy
popping up.
tool ever invented.
Exactly. Yep. So that's how we found them, and then just reach out to them. A phone call is free, right? So you can reach out to anybody, get some information, strike up a good, friendly conversation, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then just dig in a little bit deeper, take them to lunch, take them for a beer, and figure out what they want to
Pretty
do.
soon you're buying their company.
Exactly.
Okay, you're skipping over quite a bit here. All right, so it's
Can't give too much information. It's a 1,000-foot view, right?
well, but you're introducing yourself and you want to have a talk with them, but then at some point you're discovering that they're not doing well.
People will tell you pretty early on in the conversation if they're comfortable doing what they're doing, if they're happy what they're doing. I mean,
They also want to know if you're struggling also,
Exactly.
and then they
Yeah.
start asking you.
and they'll bring up issues, right? If someone's having issues in a business and they want an answer, they'll ask you because they can see that you're being success or that you are successful in your field. So they'll ask you, "Hey, how are you doing this? How are you handling this?" And then it just goes from there. Bounce ideas. You can give them tips or tricks and go from there.
How do
Yeah.
you approach the ask?
Just ask. I mean, that's all you can do, right?
Well, tell me.
The
How do
worst
you
thing they're going to do is say
Hey,
no.
Mark, you sound like you don't like your company very much, or you're struggling. Is there? How do you approach that? Give me an example of one you've already done.
So, Yeah, there's a group out of New Braunfels. I don't think I can name drop too much, but reached out to him and asked him how business was, how they were doing. Told him I had a couple of customers from New Braunfels that had been signing up and more. And he just mentioned, yeah, we're really struggling with our scheduling and it's been tough. And I've got this other stuff going on. I'm trying to kind of losing focus on the trash can cleaning, and it's hard to hire people. And I was like, well, you know, just kind of give him a tip that worked for us, you know, on how to scale it, right? Get off the truck, get somebody else hired, and then you can scale your business from there. You know, he was really
so you lead with giving them advice, so that they can succeed.
So collaboration.
Okay. That's a good.
That's why I love this
right.
guy. No, dude. You see, as a cop, you're looking at it as like, how do I play bad cop and take it from them and buy it from them?
No,
and he's
I'm not saying
he's
he's
genuinely
predatory.
trying to help them.
Yeah.
You know. And then when he's like, you know, and then they probably come to him like, you know what, Jordan, why don't you just buy us out? I mean, really, like, I'm not going to do all the things you're telling me to do.
But I'd like for him to tell the story.
Yeah, so that's
I'm his
it.
representative.
So you give him advice, right? 'Cause, I mean, lead with giving. That's always a good thing to do, right?
Yep.
And we know you do that. Seriously, I mean, I've seen it in how you interact with the community and stuff like that. So I know that's genuine. But let's get past that, right? So you lead with giving. They're not going to take the advice, or they can't capitalize on the advice. They can't actually execute on it, right? What happens next?
Correct. Then they just offer it up, really. You know, they
Tell
say,
me.
hey, you know, we can't really do this. We're really struggling. Would you be interested in taking over our customer base? And then from there, you just evaluate it and on how much it's worth, their pricing. I mean, there's a whole lot of metrics to go into
And
that.
at that point, too, they've already done the research on your company.
Correct.
So they're seeing the success that you had. So it kind of, at that point, they're already comfortable giving that offer.
Yep.
So, and you bring in an attorney and to help with that. How do you do the evaluation? Do you do it yourself, or do you have a team that does that?
I'm old school. I'm just a handshake, right? So I come in, evaluate them, make an offer, and if they rebuttal with a different offer, then, you know, we just run some numbers.
Why don't you use an actual, maybe a CFO or an attorney or something, somebody who really knows that world inside out?
I think people may be a little bit intimidated if you bring something like that to the table.
Gotcha.
So I found that it works a lot easier just having a personal conversation, right?
So you better
meeting
know
them.
what you're doing then, right? I mean, you better know how to interpret those numbers.
Learn,
and you've
learn
been
a
right
lot from YouTube, right?
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
so here's the hard question. Have you been right every single time about your evaluation?
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
No, I've lost a couple. But, hey, I still have to stick to my word, pay them what I said I was going to pay them, even if it didn't turn out exactly how I thought it was going to.
Is there a way to interrupt that process in a way that doesn't seem overbearing to them, but you do involve a staff and take a look at the numbers?
Yeah, you could definitely reach out to like a contract CFO or you know, virtual someone who's got experience in that
Kean,
field.
for example, that's what he's doing. He's actually involved in some business acquisition stuff right now. If you haven't had to talk with him, Kean Frith, you should have a talk with him because I'm sure he would love to be involved in that process.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting to get someone's insight who hasn't done it the way I've done it and may evaluate things completely
Who's a pro
different.
at it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have to be experts in everything, right? All right, cool. I just wanted to get through that because that's super interesting to me how that happens. And for me, I would definitely listen to that as part.
Well, at what point when you first started your company that it kind of clicked to where now's the time to start buying out other?
Almost immediately.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
almost immediately. Almost within our first 2 months of business, you know, customers coming in were so slow, just because it's a niche service and it's new. So the struggle was trying to find enough people to learn about the service and know that it was actually a service. So I couldn't wait that long to get that many customers coming
And it's
in.
usually expensive. And like Jordan says, it takes a long time to acquire customers when you have to educate the marketplace.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. Everybody already knows branding design. Everybody knows web design, but not everybody knows trash can cleaning. That's a thing? What do you mean? You have a truck that does that, and then you have to educate them. It usually costs money and takes time to educate them. So to acquire customers, you do it through marketing, you do it through sales, or you do it through acquisitions.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know you've got an active YouTube channel, right?
Yep.
Is it still
YouTube-
active?
Yep. Active YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, and then are you doing local stuff too, like community, like on Ken's 5 or whatever? You doing television stuff?
We
and
did.
radio?
I did a Good Day SA. We did a report on there. It seemed to do okay, but other than that, just Google local ads has really paid off for us. It's a niche market, right? So there's not very many competitors out there. So I can spend $150 on Google ads and get 15,000 impressions.
There you go.
So
And it gets you in the door for the
Yes.
other services, which
Yep.
is great. That's also a brilliant marketing thing because you get them with sort of not. I'm not going to say it's a loss leader because it's a great service to get your trash cans clean, but the barrier to entry in terms of cost is so low that it's almost like a no-brainer. People will do it. Once you get to know them and know staff, now all of a sudden you want your whole house power washed, then that'll cost you a lot more than the trash cans, but you're already in. They already know, like, and trust you.
Yep, and they're reminded every month or every 2 months about our company and our other services. So when they get their trash can cleaned, they're like, oh, yeah, Triton does all this.
Don't be surprised if he's doing
Absolutely.
Christmas lights.
So as you've gone along, and I imagine your profit margin wasn't as big in the beginning, and maybe it's better now because you can dial in as you're going along. But let me just clarify that point. Is it a loss leader or is it a moneymaker?
No, it's a moneymaker.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I mean, it's recurring revenue, too. It comes in
And
every month.
We've had a talk before, and you'd mentioned that power washing was a little bit better on the margins. Is that still the case?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, way higher profit margin on the pressure washing.
Okay. And how's the soft washing going for the houses? Is that
Yeah,
decent too
same,
as well?
same thing. All of our auxiliary services are definitely higher profit margins. Roof washing, window cleaning, everything's a lot higher profit margins.
Okay, good. And like you said, you're building that know, like, and trust factor
Yep.
through good customer service. And we do. We get a text. We know when you guys are coming, all the stuff, which eliminates the whole, I forgot to put the cans out, or at least helps eliminate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it still happens, but
Anything that you've recently implemented that you were like, well, this is something that's going to help us fix a particular problem?
well, adding the attachments, that helps a lot. Because some people do say in between cleanings, they're like, hey, we threw some chicken in there or whatever, and it starts stinging. So the little attachments help quite a bit. Really, other than that, we've got a pretty dialed in, pretty simple process on.
So here's my, I guess, concern about the attachment thing you're talking about, these fragrance things. Is I've seen how rough those machines are to pick up the cans and bang them around and do the whole thing. How does it not? What is this attachment? How does it not come flying off?
Well, it just screws right in to the backside of the trash can. Luckily, when it comes up, that backside doesn't hit the bar coming out, so it's safe. And I tried it on. I put it on my house and I lifted it up and banged that thing around. It stayed on there pretty good. So
I would think. I mean, over a year, you're gonna have to replace them more than once, or
we may have to replace them. Only time will tell. We just started doing this like 30 days ago.
Okay.
So it's a beginning process of it. We'll see how it turns out.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah. It works
Is it
well.
like a spray? Is it a liquid? Is it a powder? What
Yeah,
is
just
it?
a liquid spray, just a liquid deodorizer. It's got a little flapper on it, so you shut the lid and it depresses it and sprays a little squirt.
Okay, gotcha.
Your military background, does it play at all into your success in business?
Yeah, absolutely. Giving me drive to want to succeed and be a better person, and then obviously integrity. Right? Nobody wants to do business with somebody who's not being upfront about everything. And all of our prices are what they are. Everything's on the website. Everything's there. We don't add prices later on. We don't do anything like that. So integrity is a huge thing. I think integrity is a huge thing in any business. So.
And I would imagine the discipline too.
Discipline,
The
exactly.
discipline to see things through. We have
Right.
a lot of entrepreneurs that start things up, and then once it's not, or they don't think it's successful or going their way, they kind of just stop.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's the drive that we see in you and the success that you've had in your business.
Especially on like the big pressure washing jobs, because we quoted a certain amount, and you get out there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take
Right.
twice as long as I thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
Just having the
window's
discipline to
very
finish it.
high and the screens don't come off.
Yeah.
So I had, I've been a customer of Jordan's for a long time, and
I think I was a customer first.
I referred probably longer than you, but I'll have to look at my text string from Triton just to make sure. But I referred them to my mom's house because my mom was complaining about her screens being clean and whatever. And then so later on she says, oh my God, they're great. They even clean my windows from the inside. I'm like, that's not one of their services. So I asked him, he goes, yeah, we just went and kind of just did it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You sure you want that to get out?
The thing is, there are people that are in business that will do more than is expected, more than is quoted, and that's what builds lasting relationships with clients. But most everybody wants to get out as quickly and as inexpensively as possible so they can make a higher margin. But they're leaving money on the table because it's 7 times harder to sell something to somebody you've never sold to than it is to sell somebody something that somebody that's already bought from you. So 7 times easier that way. And so if, like you said, going deeper with the existing clients is much, much better in the long run. Of course, you need a nice base, but you continue to build your base if you get referrals from people that are like, oh my God, you got to call Triton. They're phenomenal. Jordon and his staff, they're great. And it doesn't have to be Jordon. It could be their staff, same thing. But if they drink the Kool-Aid and they got trained by Jordon and then they act the same way that Jordon would have on site.
Then you open up the door to those 7 magic words. What else can I do for you?
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
And when you genuinely mean it, it's not like, what else can I sell you? But it's like, you've done a great job. You led with service and integrity. You're like, what else can I do for you? You know what I mean? Well, you know what? My windows are really dirty on the inside. You might, give me 15 minutes or 30 minutes and we'll go take care of that. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that really, really works.
It's opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, are there some services that has evolved because somebody asked you to do it that wasn't an original service?
Probably the stink can thing. What's the name of it anyway?
Yeah.
It's not that. I could tell you, I don't know what it is, but I would bet it's not that. But I'll see if the domain name's available.
Let's get it now.
No, not really. I mean, interior window cleaning is something that we have done. I don't market it really, but yeah, for
Right.
Howie's mom, of course, I'm not going to say no. So, Howie's been with us since the very beginning. I designed my first initial website, staying up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and reached my marketing capacity. So brought in Howie, and he's really been a mentor since the very beginning. So you definitely want to touch on that, having the right people behind you and looking up to the right people. Howie's the one who really got us involved in all of our community outreach stuff. From Got You Covered to
Crit.
Crit, yeah, brought me into Crit and Battered Women and Children's Shelter. So, and then kind of carrying on that, do my own stuff. But Howie's a big reason I started reaching out to the community, and that comes back to you tenfold. I mean, if you do anything in the community,
we see that every time you raffle.
Yeah.
He buys raffle tickets.
He wins everything.
Yeah, he does.
He wins everything.
Oh, you're the one with the golden touch.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had
My
4
brother's like
prizes
that.
at the Crit Gala, and
He
that's
got 3 of them?
yeah.
Or 2 of them, or at least.
No,
but-
I think he took all 4. Well,
Did he really?
the one he didn't win, they just stole it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
Somebody
look,
forgot to pick it
yeah,
up.
you say it's tenfold. I don't know what the ROI is, but you really get it back in many ways, not just financially. And this lesson is so hard for entrepreneurs to learn. I said, when you do well in business, do good in community. I'm telling you, and you have to do it in a genuine way, because if you do it to get more business, God, karma, Mother Nature knows and doesn't reward you. And you don't feel good about it. But if you do it genuinely, not when your business is great, not when you become a millionaire, but you're doing it all along, you get paid back.
So let's talk about your commercial side a little bit. Obviously, you're doing a lot in residential. What is your angle on the commercial side? How are you acquiring? It's not through trash can cleaning service, because you're not doing the big dumpsters,
Right.
But what's your angle there?
So the commercial side, we do primarily pressure washing and window cleaning, and I approach that as a quality thing, right? Because all these commercial contractors, if you will, they're finding the cheapest person to do this work. So they're sending people out there with no insurance, some guy with a pressure washer in the back of his truck, and they're causing damage to the walls. They're breaking windows. They're, doing a sidewalk and they're striping it or not doing it all the way. So I approach that as from a quality perspective and show these commercial clients what we can do. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the cheaper bidder, but in the long run, it's going to be better for their business. If you walk into any kind of business, the first thing you see is the exterior. You're going to see dirty windows, dirty sidewalk. You're going to be like, well, this place is not serious about their business, right? They're not taking themselves seriously. So we approach it from that perspective, and that commercial side has grown tremendously. And we've got some pretty high-end clients. Morgan's Wonderland, Hemisphere Park, City of San Antonio, Alamo Dome. So we do quite a few places.
Let's break that down. How did you get started with the bigger clients? Was that an accident? Was it through a referral? How did that happen?
Man, that was all hustling. Just going out there, reaching out to them 10, 15, 20 times, sending them emails, pictures, getting the right person's phone number, sending them text messages.
Did it help that you're a veteran or you registered as a veteran-owned business?
It does help. Yeah, being a veteran does help. Oftentimes that'll get your foot in the door. At least get the conversation started.
When you've got the social media proof of service, right? And I know you guys do a lot of pictures. Don't you have video cameras too on the outside of your vehicles to prove a service as well?
Every truck has a camera on it. Every truck has GPS. if there's ever an issue, we can pull up that footage almost immediately.
Yeah.
I can pull it up from my phone.
Are you actually, like, if you're doing driveways and walkways and stuff like that, is that actually at least some of that being captured by that video as well?
It is, yeah.
That's really cool. So how do you close those deals, like with something like the Alamo Dome? I mean, does that come down to numbers, or does it come down to, what does it come down to?
Both. Numbers is a big thing, because obviously they put out an RFQ for that, RFP for that, and then you have to go do a site visit. Then you're competing with other companies. But even City of San Antonio, I mean, they want to promote local businesses. They want to use local businesses. So if you're competing against a national group that all they do is come in and bid on contracts, City of San Antonio is obviously going to take you a little bit more seriously, because they know that you have a local presence. They know that you're here. They know that you're going to be on site doing it. And if your company has a good reputation, then they're going to, even if your price is higher, they're still going to select you for it.
How do you solidify that reputation piece of it? How do you establish yourself as someone to be taken seriously when you're doing contract bids?
Google reviews, obviously, and then getting referrals from those big customers. So after the job is done, do my walkthrough with them, and I already have a pre-made piece of paper for them they can just scribble notes on while we're doing the walkthrough. Triton showed up on time. They showed up. All their employees were wearing proper PPE, proper uniforms. Their equipment worked fine. They didn't interrupt our business. They did it after hours, stuff like that. So I've got different questions on this piece of paper that I hand the customer when we're doing the final walkthrough.
Who came up with that questionnaire?
I did.
Okay, and why did you?
Just because feedback is important. Feedback for any business, feedback is huge. So if you can capture that very easy and find a way for the customer to give you feedback without them having to go out of their way, then it's huge, and you can use that for everything. You
have military-style SOPs for all your staff.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of business owners don't have that. They show up. You hire, he doesn't like to drop names. I'll drop names. I had a house fire 10, 12 years ago, and I hired Surf Pro, and I thought it was going to be like the Super Bowl commercials with all these vans and helicopters and green and all that. And they send some idiot in with a mop, He's like, hey, man, so I'm here to start cleaning up. And I'm like, I go, where are the vans? And then the buses of people and the teams, they're like, no, well, there's another guy coming, but they went to go pick him up from the day laborers at Home Depot. I'm like, oh my God, I called the company right away. They go, this is not what I need, And so part of, when these guys show up, they have cool uniforms, fully branded, their vehicles, everything. I mean, just matches, looks great. And they come out, and if you're following an SOP, businesses like that, especially big businesses, City of San Antonio, Alamo Dome, whatever, they don't want to mess around with people that are like, taking breaks every 5 minutes and sitting there under the trees eating their lunch, It's like, come on, man, get the job done.
They need professionals.
Yep.
And remember, these big companies are spending OPM, other people's money, so their taxpayer money or whatever it is, and they just care about getting the job done and getting it done right.
So this little checklist you mentioned, because I think that I'm going to implement this in my company. I think it's a great idea. You give that to them at the time that they become your client, and they actually start checking those off as you go through the service?
Yep. So at the very beginning, we give them what's expected. So go through the whole scope of work, what we plan on doing, if they have any recommendations, if they have any questions on what we're doing, why we're doing it. So they get that at the beginning of the job, and then at the end of the job, we go through it again, and they have a separate one on our actual performance.
And that's when they're documented, is after the job's done?
Yes, after the job's done.
Okay. And then they get that back to you?
Yep. Give that back to me, put it in PDF form. Their signatures on the bottom of it, so I've already got, and then I can use that for a reference for other commercial clients.
And then if something's deficient, you go back and fix it because
exactly.
it's there.
Yep.
You're like,
Yeah, and there's right then and there if there's a problem, right? Yep. It's not something that festers over a period of time.
Correct.
And it comes up later and it's like, well, I didn't bring it up because of whatever. And it's like,
well, and it manages expectations, because if
That's exactly
it's not like,
Yep.
well, I thought you were going to clean out my chimney. No, what? That's not what we, it wasn't on the checklist. And it manages expectations. So there's a philosophy that I tell my team: either we're training our clients or they're training us. If they pay us 90 days later, they're training us to accept money whenever they feel like paying us.
Do you do any kind of business mastermind? Are you part of anything like that where you're kind of giving back towards people that are, young to business and looking to grow? Because, you've got some great insight and you've got a lot of experience.
Nope, not yet. Just this podcast, really.
Okay. Well, we've dug into it a little bit here.
He's getting there. He's getting there. But I love how you touched upon that, like managing expectations. I think every business owner should have that document right at the beginning. We do it with our social media management. because we have to lay it out. Like, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
This is what we need from you to do our part before we can get started. And then we do weekly check-ins with ours to make sure that we're meeting expectations and that they're giving us what we need to do our part too. So in the very beginning of my company, I didn't do that. And especially with graphic design, with business owners, they're like, well, I thought you were going to do everything when we were only signed up for one campaign. And so having that form really definitely helps, especially managing that expectation and the payment plan.
Yeah, most entrepreneurs are firefighters. They're just putting out fires. They're not managing expectations. There's no preset goals. They just say, if there's a problem, they call them and then they show up and try to fix it.
Yes, and trying to prove themselves. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing too.
Have you done any government work yet?
Not yet. I've been on a couple. I mean, City of San Antonio, we've done work for that, but
You talking about federal government?
Yeah, federal government.
yeah, nothing federal yet. We're set up to do it. I've bid on contracts for JBSA.
There's also state and county work. Didn't you bid on some county work?
Yeah, I bid on some county work. We did a parking garage sweeping for them, which was fine. But yeah, nothing. We haven't won any federal work yet. So that's hard because you have these huge companies that just come in and they're lowest bidder, right? So they swoop up.
I'm curious to get your feedback on my point of view because I'm like, there are experts out there that can help you with that.
Yeah.
Have you thought about using somebody who can really dial you in on those things so you can?
I did reach out to a local group here in San Antonio that specializes in federal contracts. But again, they just wanted me to come in at the lowest price. So I can't.
That was all their advice?
That's all their price.
Did you pay for that?
Sub it out. Yeah. But you can't. And they told me the same thing. They're like, it's a federal contract, so they're going to go for the lowest bidder. So
yeah, and then make it up on change orders.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that's not a good business practice, and I don't want to be known for that. So
that's cool.
We'll keep doing what we're doing and try to bid on them, and if we win them, cool. If not, understandable.
What is the growth strategy then now? You're at 4 trucks. What are you trying to do next?
Yeah, so stay in San Antonio, become the biggest pressure washing company here. We're already the largest trash can cleaning company here, so become the biggest pressure washing exterior cleaning company and just keep growing it from there, expand to Austin, and go from there.
What about time-wise? Because, look, trash can cleaning is becoming more of a thing. Isn't there franchises out there that are selling this kind of stuff now? Have you thought about franchising?
Briefly, yeah. In my opinion, when you start franchising, then you start losing that quality, right? Because nobody's going to treat your business like you treat your business. Nobody's going to treat it like it's your own. So if you franchise, then you really have to be picky on the owners that you bring in, because obviously you work so hard on branding that name, branding that company. If someone comes in, they just want to think that's going to make money overnight, they're not going to take it as seriously as you are. So I probably won't franchise, but it has crossed my mind.
So you're not going to grow all that big then, right? I mean, because if you take that kind of mentality to it, that nobody's going to love it as much as you can, therefore they can't execute on the services regardless of the SOPs or the accountability factors, which is really where I think that if you want to grow big, that's where you have to focus.
Yeah.
Is quality people, accountability, SOPs, all that kind of stuff.
But
so you're really limiting yourself.
Yeah, but he can also open up, if he opens up Austin, then he can open up Houston, then he can open up other markets.
Quality is going to get away from you. With that mentality, in my opinion, right? Not my experience, but my opinion, is that quality can diminish without really tight SOPs and oversight and stuff like that. But even then, you're still going to have issues. I mean, McDonald's had those issues. I watched the show, and it had to be true about how there was quality issues down the road, even with McDonald's.
The show or the movie Founder?
The movie Founder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
But anyway, so going nationwide, is that a thing for you? Or
I don't think so. I think I want to stay local, keep a local brand, local company. Local is in San Antonio, possibly Austin, maybe even a little bit more south, but just where I can keep a close eye on it, make sure everything's being ran the way it is. And that's even San Antonio and Austin, that's a huge market. Yeah. If I was to
and everything in between.
Everything in between.
Well, yeah. And I mean, that whole corridor up to Dallas. Right. I mean, why not? And of course, in Houston's just right over there.
Right.
Right. I mean, and that's 4 times the size of San Antonio.
And 4 times as dirty.
Right. So they need your service. You should feel guilty not being in Houston.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, let's not leave the franchise thing for a second, because not my opinion, but my experience.
Oh, here we
Now I'm
go.
going to flip it on you. I was a partner in a meal prep company, and we decided we were going to franchise it out. And we had a great brand and everything. I mean, we were like, it was very franchisable. You know what we didn't have? The deep pockets and the expertise, even bringing people on to create the franchise. It's ridiculously expensive. And then you're almost not even in the trash can cleaning business anymore. Now you're in the franchising business, and you have to put all your efforts there.
Oh, he cut me off at the knees on that, because that's where I was
Yeah.
going to go with it, because it is a completely different animal. And he's like, I just want to do this stuff, Mark, so I'm not going to play your little franchise game.
Even if I was to, so I ran some numbers on it. Even if I was to get 1% of the San Antonio market, I would have to have 25 trucks just to service 1%.
Wow.
So it's
How much do you
huge
think
market.
you can get?
Well, hopefully 1%. You know?
No, but there's everybody's using the same trash
So
cans.
in the UK, you know, it's like 20% of the residents use a trash can cleaning service. So it's a huge
It still
thing over
seems
there.
small.
Right. Yeah, even 20%.
Yeah, you definitely need Kian to consult you on stuff, because he's from the UK.
Yeah, you're not going to go to the UK.
Yeah,
That would be cool, by the way.
One thing that Jenevy and I have talked about, you probably don't remember, but you know, the reason why she and I collaborate and we both have marketing businesses is because there are 100,000 registered businesses in Bexar County. Wow. And if
100,000 in Bexar County.
yeah,
Really?
registered or businesses, you know,
Wow.
that they might be small, mom and pop, but
Yeah.
they need marketing.
Yeah.
They could use a virtual
And
assistant.
if it took me 30 years to do business with 1,500 clients, not even all of them in Bexar County, that's 1% of a snapshot in time. That doesn't mean that there's only 100,000. I mean, over the years, there's probably been millions of businesses in the time I've been in business. So how on earth would we be able to do business with everybody? So joining
Not only
forces
that, but you
and
guys like
collabing.
each other, right? I mean,
Yeah, we do.
It's fun to work around people.
Well, I'm not going to speak for her, but I like Jenevy.
I like Howie too. No, the collaboration part is very important. When I first started my business, a lot of people were like, there's so many other marketing firms out there and graphic designers. How are you going to stand out? And instead of taking that question, trying to figure out how I'm going to stand out, I figured out, how can I help others, other marketing firms? What can I do? Maybe step in the overflow space, or even market them out. And in return, they did the same. And that's how we created growth in San Antonio.
Well
That's
put.
awesome. So how are you guys collaborating on your relationship there?
Oh, so Howie, actually, he does my clients' websites, because we had been doing it in-house. And we had a real big client with the Le Bon Vie Ranch, and they needed to redo their website. And so I had Howie's team take care of it, and they've had that website for years, and it never generated them any revenue. The 1 month after we made it live, they had booked over 4 weddings
Oh, wow.
alone through the website. And the many years they've had it, they never even generated one. So that's how powerful Howie's company is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we put, I don't even think we had discussed it, but we put Site by the Evolve firm at the bottom. You know, Jenevy art directed it. She coordinated with a client. They brought us great materials to work with. And it usually when I work directly with a client, they don't present me with great materials because they just have what they have. But when you work with a firm that actually cares about their client's branding, like the Evolve firm does, they bring us really great materials, raw materials to work with. And so, I mean, that collab is great. You know, I love that. And again, we're never going to be in business long enough to do business with everybody. And why would he have to go chase business in New York when he's got more than he can handle here?
Yeah.
Now, how did you guys end up getting hooked? Was it through the podcast, or did you guys know each other before?
No, but thank you for always trying to take credit for those relationships.
But I just,
Love it.
you know,
Through
if I'm
Coop,
contributing,
who was a guest here.
Mr. Cooper.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We both spoke at the
Yeah.
art
Yeah,
is
the
it
Art
design?
Institute.
Institute.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Art Institute. And we got to know each other. Oh, you have a marketing? I have a marketing firm. Oh, really? What's the name of yours? By the way, not everybody's as open to collaborating. I won't drop a name, but there's a guy I've known for a long time, and I invited him to come to my office. Come see what he's like. Oh, and then I'll go to your office. He's like, yeah, I don't know about all that. So he to this day, we see each other. We're very friendly, but he wants no part of that. Thank you very much.
That's funny shit. You know, collaboration happens at the top. Competition happens at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
quote.
That should be a T-shirt. Right?
Love
Let me
that
steal
quote.
that. No, that'll be my quote for Friday. Let me just type it up real quick. I just have to twist
All
it
right,
around.
so let's talk as we get towards the end here. Continued customer acquisition. What's your main thrust right now? How are you getting new clients other than?
Yeah, so Google Ads, Facebook, social media, and we have a referral program, which is where 90% of our customers come from. So the referral program is them referring a neighbor. So that helps build our route density, and the best customer you can get is a referral. So that's really...
Any road signs, yard signs, or anything like that?
And the trucks themselves are a moving billboard.
That's
So
true.
if people see the trucks, they're immediately focused on it. You know, we've got QR codes on them, so they take a picture, takes them straight to the website. Sign up right there.
Great branding.
Yep.
I remember when we first started talking, we talked about water capture and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've been through all that already. It's still interesting questions and stuff like that. It's hard not to get back in that again. But if folks want to learn more about what you're doing, see it in action, or become a client, where do they go?
Yeah, go to tritoncleaners.net or any of our Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, which is all at Triton Cleaners. Everything's the same across the board. And YouTube as well, at Triton Cleaners. That's it. Everything's on the website. All the information's on the website. Sign-up forms on there. Videos are embedded, thanks to Mr. Howie.
And if you like those videos of power washing a driveway and looking at, he puts those out too, and I'm like mesmerized. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Did you guys capitalize on the Hawk Tua girl thing?
Not yet.
You should
That's
totally
one of those
do that,
things
right?
That's riding the line, man.
When she says that, it's like then you snap to the clean driveway, right? Or the dirty one or whatever, and then you clean it.
And by the way, speaking of TikTok, you mentioned it earlier. There was a company out of El Paso that reached out to him because saw his TikTok, and then he referred him to me. He gave him a bunch of information. They're competitors in a different market or they're in the same space. And he says, hey, look, I'm happy to help you guys get set up, this, that, and the other. And then he goes, and by the way, talk to Howie. And we did their website, and it's great. And he's helped local competitors in power washing and compete. And then, he's like, hey, come on, I'll share it with you. And then they give each other business.
Yep.
Are you part of Blue Collar Connect?
No, I went to a couple meetings, but didn't join the group.
Not your thing?
Yeah, not my thing.
Why?
It's
Because he drinks beer at home and eats pizza.
No,
Yeah, it's more of a business to business group. It seems like over there. It's not really our
B2C.
Yeah.
You're looking for more of the B2C side.
Yeah, straight to consumer.
So, but electricians are B2C, plumbers are B2C, right?
yeah,
They're having success. Why not you?
I don't know. I guess I need to revisit with them and figure out how they're having success there.
I'll tell you who would an ideal partner channel would be landscapers. And the reason I say that is my landscaper came over. He's a client of mine. I won't throw him under the bus, but Braden Lewis. And he had one guy. They were doing the leaves, and they blew them all into where my front door is, where my screens are for my.
Oh, no.
I'm like, hey, I go, dude, I just had all that stuff cleaned by Triton Cleaners, and they just, now you're pushing it all. Well, it's because we're trying to capture, and then it's easier to put them up. I go, no, blow it into my neighbor's house, not my, what? What are you doing? Now I'm going to have that power. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, just kind of half teasing there. They brought mulch the other day. They brought rocks. They brought dirt. They left it all on the driveway. I'm like, what? And
Yeah,
so,
that'd be the ones.
Wow.
That'd be the ones to get.
yeah, because they don't want to put it on the grass. They need to put it on hard surfaces, and then they need somebody to come and clean, because they could blow all they want. It's not going to come out clean.
Right.
Well,
Not the way you clean it.
Didn't you say roofers are a good connection for you?
Yeah,
too?
roofers are.
Because
they
they're
have roll off boxes and equipment in the driveways, and I've got a couple roofing companies that they just have us come out no matter what. They just send us the address as soon as they start a project. They let us know when they're done. We come out and clean the driveway.
Do you do anything with Jaime Sepulveda from Strategic Property Management?
Man, I see him everywhere. Howie.
Okay.
I see him everywhere, and I always try to get 5 minutes of his time.
No,
He's
I'll
too
call
busy.
him. I'll have both of you guys over for drinks, and he
Deal.
manages close to 300 homes. And whenever they rent it out to somebody else, and he's that house needs to be clean.
Come clean the trash can, clean the driveway, get everything looking good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so and there's roofing companies that are, and landscapers, I think, that are part of Blue Collar Connect as well. It's another way. I mean, BNI is the same thing, right? You can build these relationships. Your guy can build those relationships and stuff for you. The thing with Blue Collar Connect is a little expensive. They're charging, I think, $5,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it was up there.
for the year.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, what's the ROI, and how am I going to get that ROI, and what's the time, right. on the recouping that ROI? Those are I don't know how well they are at selling that, per industry. But it'd be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Don't. For $2,500, I'll put you in White Collar Connect. You could just give me $2,500 and
We'll
I'll
go
connect
straight to
you.
commercial. Oh,
I'll put you on LinkedIn.
all right. Well, thanks, Jordan. I appreciate the conversation, man. It was a good time. We talked. This was a different conversation I think we've had before, but I like that. I hope you had a good time too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. As we wrap up the show, quick reminder: check out our latest podcast and catch a video version of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for this one. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.